Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for attending here today. My name is Ronnie Rios, and I'm really excited to be your host for this webinar, How to Share Your Custom App. Today, we're going to learn all about what it is to mean to deploy a custom app, things what it should accomplish, and how do we accomplish this? How do we get our apps in the hands of everybody in our team using the FileMaker platform? Great, but before we get started, I do have some brief housekeeping notes to take care of. So for the best experience, we strongly recommend that you participate in this web seminar with at least a broadband connection. If you have any problems or require online assistance at any time, please contact Citrix Technical Support at 888-259-8414. Again, that number is 888-259-8414. During today's presentation, you will have the opportunity to type in questions. So let's briefly talk about how you can send us your questions. Simply go to the control panel, click on the questions section, type in your questions there, and click on the send button. We'll cover as many questions as time allows at the end of our presentation, but you don't have to wait till the end to submit your questions. So with that, let's get started. So FileMaker, for those of you who don't know, we're kind of just getting introduced to the platform, is a premier workplace innovation platform. A workplace innovation platform provides everything you need to solve your very unique business challenges for yourself. And every workplace innovation platform has these fundamental attributes. It should have everything you need to design and create custom apps for your business. It should also allow you to share your apps so that your teams can be connected anywhere they are doing their work on any devices that they carry. And they should also be able to, it gives you everything you need so you can integrate your apps with software services, enterprise systems, or even IoT devices so you can always lead in your marketplace. So these are the fundamental attributes that a workplace innovation platform has so that you can realize the promise that advanced technology brings us. Now, however, today we are going to focus on the sharing attributes. Before we get started, let's talk a little bit about a little story, right? One that we hear very often from customers. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to play the role of a owner and manager of a small but growing landscaping company. And in my role here in my small organization, we had spreadsheets where we viewed and edited customer information. We also had spreadsheets that contained all the work that we've done for our customers. We had photos of the work that we've done for all the commercial landscaping that we've done, and we're service organizations, so we had contracts as well. Now, as a manager, I saw all this information, the scattered information in completely different formats and different applications. And I wonder what was the better way for me to take all this information and give it a better experience for me and my team. Now, in our little organization, our team visits customers face to face. They're out in the field talking with customers. So again, this information that we needed was in different formats, it was a different application. It was really making it very, very difficult for us to quickly find what we needed when we needed. And this manual process that we had was causing us to lose business opportunities. It was taking us too much time to find the things that we needed. So in a webinar, not unlike this one, I learned about the FileMaker platform and how it could help me bring all of this information together in a custom app that aligns with our particular business needs. So let me show you what I built. So taking all that information, I built this little app that right now lives here on my desktop. And as you can see here, I've built something that took all the scattered information that we had in different spreadsheets and different files and different formats. And this now allows me to manage all of our customers. And it's working really great for me. So here I can browse through our customers. I can see their contact information. I can see all the work that we've done for all of them. I've got totals that tells me how much total hours we've worked. I've got easy way to add new work, to keep track of new work that we've done for them, keep track of the contracts. We even got an interactive map that allows me to view the information and kind of see where they are and do get directions. I've got reports and a lot of really wonderful information. So this little app is now helping me get a better manage of my organization. Now, the thing is that this lives right now, this lives on my computer. As you can see, it's right over here. And I know that to really kind of take the realization of technology to really start this digital transformation that we're going on, I need to get this information in the hands of everybody in my team. So right now, right, I know I can build and run custom apps and have access to that information on my desktop. But now I need to get this in the hands of everybody in my team, both those that are here in the office and those on their desktop computers, but also those who are out in the field using their mobile devices. So this is what we call deployment. It simply means sharing our app so that everybody in our team can access and use it. Now, it's not just that. That's just the first step, right? A good deployment should have some additional things. A good deployment should allow me to manage all of the apps that we have. It should provide security so that the data, so that it secures the data so that only those who are authorized to have access to it are the ones using it or have access to it. Deployment should also be resilient and allow us to recover in the event of something bad happens, something wrong happens. And it should also be flexible, allowing just a few or as many users to access our apps from multiple devices and platforms. Now, luckily for us, in the FileMaker platform, we have not one, but two options for us to share or deploy our custom apps. We have FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. So let's briefly talk about both of these options. So FileMaker Server is actually software. It's software for managing and sharing our custom apps that can then be accessed from desktop computers, from iOS devices like the iPhone and the iPad, and even from web browsers. Now, I say this is software, and it is software that's installed on a computer. And this computer we normally refer to as a server. Now, don't worry, server is just another name for a computer that is dedicated to providing services, like sharing custom apps. So this server usually is located on-premise in a secure, centralized location. Now, FileMaker Cloud, just like FileMaker Server, is software. And it, just like FileMaker Server, allows us to very quickly and easily share custom apps with our teams. Now, the software also runs on a computer. However, this computer is a virtual computer, also known as an instance, that runs on the AWS cloud. It's offered through the AWS marketplace. So the server and the server software are managed on this cloud platform. So, and it's been completely architected and designed from the ground up to take advantage of the benefits of cloud computing, but with a minimum administrative hassle. In other words, it's very, very easy for us. The whole process has been simplified. This whole process of hosting has been simplified so that we can easily, very quickly deploy our custom apps without having to invest in hardware for our own server or even installing the software. So we've got two options here for sharing or deploying our custom apps. As you can imagine, both of these accomplish very similar goals, and they actually share several components. So let's briefly talk about the different components that make both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. Both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud have an admin console or administrative console. The admin console is a web application that allows us to set up and configure our host. They also both have a database server, and this is the component that actually does the sharing, right? The deployment. This is that actually makes all our custom apps available to everybody on our team. They also have a web publishing engine, so that if we need to deploy over a web browser, this component here speaks with the database server and translates that information into a language, into a format that a web browser can understand. And then they also both have a web server that actually takes that information from the web publishing engine and delivers it that last mile to the web browser. So you might be asking, well, why do I need FileMaker Server, FileMaker Cloud? Well, both of these accomplish several things that we were talking about earlier. With both, allow me to remotely monitor and administrate my custom apps. They both make sure that data is securely stored and transmitted. They help me automate the backups to make sure that our data is safe. They allow us to grow, so I make sure that no matter how large organization, how well we start doing, we can the system keeps up with us, and also allows us to access from multiple devices and platforms. So let's talk really briefly about how FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud can help us tackle all these things. So in our little story here, right, I had one app that we just created to manage our customers. But I envision in the future creating multiple apps. Maybe we'll have something to manage all of our supplies, maybe to manage our employees and other things like that, maybe routes and some other wonderful things. So when I have all these different apps, I'm going to need some tools to help me administrate all of these different apps. Both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud have an admin console. The admin console is an easy-to-use web-based application that lets us configure and administrate our server. With it, we can make FileMaker custom apps available to everybody. We can push and stop apps, so we can view information about the apps that are being hosted, like the number of users that are accessing each app. And we can even send messages to those who are connected. And the admin console also has a dashboard that displays real-time status information. With it, we can view systems overviews, we can see volume status and statistics. And they also include a notification system that provides actionable time-sensitive information. And it does all this in a really nice, very easy-to-use interface. As a matter of fact, I'd like to take a minute to show you what the admin console looks like. So I mentioned it's a web-based application. So I'm just going to open up my browser here and log in to FileMaker Server. And immediately as I log in, I'm greeted with this beautiful dashboard that provides all this great information over here. I can see if there are anybody who's connected, how many apps we've got hosted, if anybody was connected, how they were connected. Down here, I can see how much space we've got left in the volume storage. I can see here real-time statistics on CPU and memory and network utilization. All this information here, along with some real-time notifications of things that are happening, things that require my attention. And this notification system is actionable. So if there were, say, a new version of the software, I would have it appear here and have a link to take me so that I can download or install the brand new update. From over here, I can also see which apps I've got hosted at the time, how many users are connected. I can close any one of these, download copies. I can send messages to any client and customer, anybody who's connected to any one of these apps. I can disconnect them if I want to as well. And I can have a feel of what's going on and administrate and configure our server. So as we quickly saw, the admin console provides us a very easy to use environment for us to configure and administrate both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. Let's talk about security really quick. Security is extremely important for us at FileMaker. We believe that security should be is in every single aspect of the platform. Both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud follow that philosophy, and it makes sure that we provide those features at every turn of both environments. FileMaker encrypts the credentials stored within custom apps so that the credentials are protected. Users can also authenticate via Active Directory, Open Directory, or OAuth identity providers if your organizations are utilizing these. You can define permissions that determine the level of access to your app. You can also define as many privilege sets as needed. You can encrypt the data that's stored within your custom app, and you can also require secure socket layer, SSL encryption of the data between FileMaker Server or FileMaker Cloud and those connected users. It also provides visual security indicators to make sure that everybody sees all these features and make sure that they understand that they are connecting, understand the level of security that they are using during their connection. And there's also proactive security warnings, so it tells the users kind of to be aware of certain things. All these things are built into both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud and along the entire platform. So what about backups? Well, you know, as a manager here and the owner of this organization, I need to ask myself, how much of my data am I willing to lose? You know, how much is my data worth? And this is where backups come in. Both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud provide all the tools I need to automate, to have automated backups, and make sure that they run on a schedule. I can keep multiple copies for each one of these schedules, and I can have them running in multiple time frames. And all of this I can configure very, very easily from the admin console. As a matter of fact, let me show you really quickly how I can set up backups using FileMaker on FileMaker Server using the admin console. So I'm going to go back over here to the admin console. And this time I'm going to go over here to the backup section. And if I had any backups running, they would show up here on the right. And automatically, FileMaker Server is set up to back up automatically once a day. So even if I forget to set up any backups, we've got you covered with at least one backup a day. But I can also schedule additional backups here. So let's do that. Let's say I want to create a backup that backs up all of our custom apps on a weekly basis. So I'll create a new schedule here. We'll give it a name, and we'll aptly call it here weekly. And we're going to choose here all of our apps here, all of our databases. I can choose over here, can specify where I want these backups to live. I can choose any volume that's connected to my server. So I may have an external storage device. I can put the path over here, but for now I'm going to leave here just the default location. I can choose here how many copies I want to keep for this particular schedule. Now, we said we're going to do this on a weekly basis, so you know what? Let's do this. Let's keep maybe 50 copies. That's about a year worth of backups here for this particular schedule. And I have some additional settings I can choose here to turn this on. It's verified. This would verify kind of the health of the file when every time it gets backed up. And I can do also here, turn this on here to create a clone copy. A clone copy of the app is a copy of it with everything except the data. So keep all the logic and the UI and everything, but no data. And there's good reasons to do that every once in a while, but for now, I'll leave this one off. All right, so here in the repeat, I can choose what the frequency is going to be for our backup. We said we wanted here on a weekly basis, but we've got other options here as well. And I want to start here today. And I can choose at what time we want this to happen. I want to do this here while nobody's here in the office, maybe 11:30 at night. That sounds good. And which days of the week I want it to happen. Let's say we'll do it here on every Thursday. That sounds good. All right. And with that, just click here, save, and that's it. We've just set up here a schedule that will back up all of our custom apps on a weekly basis, starting today at 11:30. That's it. And this is how easy it is to set up scheduled backups here in FileMaker Server. FileMaker Cloud even makes it even easier. I don't even have to go through this. FileMaker Cloud will automatically back up all of my custom apps every 20 minutes and keep an ongoing basis for an entire week. So I don't even have to set these up if I don't want to. So as you can see, both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud give us all the tools that we need to very easily and quickly have powerful backups to make sure that our data is actually safe. Another thing I need to ask myself is, how is my business going to be impacted if our solutions just can't grow with us? And this is what scale comes in. I need to make sure that no matter how successful we are as we grow, our systems can keep up with us, that can grow with us. Both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud can have up to 125 solution files or custom apps hosted at any given time. And we can have hundreds of users connected simultaneously. And they can be connected in pretty much any way they want, using desktop computers, mobile devices, and even web browsers. So peace of mind that as our organization grows and as we get more users and more apps up and running, we'll still be able to keep up. Now, along the way, as a manager, I also face the challenge of supporting multiple devices and platforms in the organization. Apps can be easily updated and deployed across different devices and platforms using FileMaker. Thankfully, it supports I can have users using iPads or iPhones, Windows desktop computers and Macs, even web browsers, all in real time. And through FileMaker Web Direct, which I'd like to show you in a few minutes, I can have all those without even having to know how to code for a web browser. I don't need to learn anything about HTML or JavaScript or any of that. And I can have applications in multiple platforms all running at the same time. So I'd like to show you a quick demo of that in a couple of minutes, but first let's go back over here to our story. So we did say here, we've got this app that we created, and I'm really proud of it. It's really great. It's helping me get a better understanding of our business and managing my customers. Like I said, I need to get this in the hands of everybody in my team, not just those who are here in the office, but also those who are out there in the field using their mobile devices. So I'm ready to share, I'm ready to deploy. Luckily, everything I need is built in. Over here, I've got an option to share. And I've got my first option up here within this menu is to upload to FileMaker Server. So I'll go ahead and do that. I already have FileMaker Server installed. And I'll choose here my server, provide my credentials. We don't want just about everybody uploading stuff. And I'll click here the upload button. And FileMaker Pro Advanced is taking a copy of this custom app, it's compressing it, it's encoding it, it's sending it over the wire, it's doing it in an encrypted way, and on the other end, FileMaker Server is going to unzip this, place it where it needs to be, open it, and make it available to everybody. And as easy as that, we've now shared or deployed this custom app. What I'm viewing here now is not the local version of this custom app. As a matter of fact, if any were thing to happen to this, I show you completely by accident. It doesn't matter. This information now lives on my server. It's completely secure, it's completely being taken care of. We've got a daily and a weekly backup going on right now, and it can be accessed by hundreds of users all around the world from pretty much any type of device. As a matter of fact, let me show you really quickly. I'm gonna bring up here my iPad, and I've already downloaded FileMaker Go. FileMaker Go is our native iOS app. It's freely available from the App Store. I'm gonna go ahead and open this over here. I'm gonna tap over here to its host, and it automatically finds my server and all the apps that I've got currently hosted. I'm gonna open up this one, which is the one that we just uploaded. And there we go. I've got here the same app in both my desktop and now on my iPad. And once it's here, it's connected in real time. So I can be anywhere in the world on this iPad and start viewing customers, start making changes if I want to. So let's say, for example, we want to change Doris's last name. Let's say we'll change her to Smith. I always pick on Doris. Change her to Smith here. You'll notice how it automatically here on the desktop, it changes. There's automatic data propagation. That means everybody's guaranteed to viewing the same version of the information, no matter what device they're using, no matter where they are. And this works in all directions. So say here in the office, we make a change here as well. And maybe here, I don't know, change it to something else. And as we change it, you'll notice that back over here on the iPad out in the field, that information changed as well. Now, I did mention that you can view this from a desktop computer, Mac, Windows, iOS devices like iPad and iPhone. And I also mentioned a web browser. So let's do that. Let's take this to the next step here and make this available to web browsers. So I'm going to go over here where it says sharing, and I'm going to enable the FileMaker Web Direct technology. And that's it. With that one little option turned on, now we have turned this also into a web application. Let me show you. I'm going to bring up here my browser once again. And this time I'm going to navigate here to our WebDirect portal. And here's that app. We'll go ahead and move this here to the side. And there we go. We've got a web app, desktop, and also a mobile app all at the same time. And you can see it's the exact same information. It looks exactly the same. So matter of fact, if I make any changes anywhere, this should also reflect here. So let's say we're out in the field once again, and we change Doris's last name. Let's put it back the way it was. You'll notice that that automatically changed here, even in the web browser. I didn't have to refresh, I didn't have to reload the page. It automatically updated the information. So everybody in the team is guaranteed to be looking we have one version of the truth. They're always looking at the most up-to-date version of our data. And again, there was no web coding. There's no HTML, no JavaScript or anything like that that I had to write in order to get this web app. So a lot of people, when I say this, ask me, well, exactly how do you do it? How do you create the app for the web browser? Let me show you. As a matter of fact, you use the exact same tools that you use to create your app everywhere else in FileMaker Pro Advanced. So I'm gonna go back over here and I'm gonna make a change just so you can see what happens. So this is FileMaker Pro Advanced. I'm in what we call layout mode, so it's kind of like the design mode. And I'm gonna make just a quick change. We'll do something like this. Maybe we'll change, I don't know, maybe we'll change, let's change the color. Sounds good. And let's change it to something really ugly. There, that's ugly and that's noticeable. All right, let's save the changes over here. And you'll notice how it automatically changed to here in the web browser, here in the background. I didn't refresh or anything, and even our iPad saw that notification and displayed it instantly. So again, all I have to do here is in a completely visual, graphical user interface, I create my custom app and it becomes available in all these different devices. Excellent. Really powerful. So let's get back here to our story. So, I've learned that I can build and I can design and build our custom app using FileMaker Pro Advanced here on my desktop computer. But now I can deploy and manage them using FileMaker Server or FileMaker Cloud. And once they are shared using these, then I can run them from pretty much anywhere. I can use iOS devices like the iPhone and the iPad using FileMaker Go. I can run them on Mac and Windows desktop computers using FileMaker Pro Advanced, and even from web browsers using the FileMaker WebDirect technology. And my deployment, it's easy to use. They're easy to manage. They scale with my organization. My data is secure using encryption. It's protected with automatic and scheduled backups, and it's easily deployed as a fully interactive web applications using FileMaker WebDirect. So we've seen how great and how easy it is to share our custom apps using either FileMaker Server or FileMaker Cloud. But some of you are probably asking, well, which one is right for me? Well, for most new users, I'd say FileMaker Cloud will be the fastest and the easiest option. However, there are a few factors that might point you to prefer FileMaker Server instead. So, for example, if you and your IT team prefer to maintain your own server, or you have an existing server and network infrastructure that you want to utilize, then it might be a good time for you to talk with your IT team and consider whether you'd rather host your apps using FileMaker Server instead. Now, we've been talking about how both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud allow us to share our custom apps. And they've got similar goals, but they do have some differences, right? They are different. So let's quickly talk about some of the, highlight some of the differences between both FileMaker Server and FileMaker Cloud. First on the hosting, and meaning here, where is the information stored? When it comes to FileMaker Cloud, right, it lives on the Amazon Web Services or AWS in their cloud, in their infrastructure. When it comes to FileMaker Server, it's usually on-premise. You decide where that information lives. So remember, FileMaker Server is software that we installed on a computer of our choosing, so we get to choose where this information lives. As far as hardware costs with FileMaker Cloud, there's really no upfront cost. You leverage that cloud infrastructure that we're talking about. So you don't purchase hardware, you basically pay as you go for the compute and storage that you utilize. With FileMaker Server, you usually invest in server class hardware that you'll have, for the most part, most of the time you'll have on premise. For scalability, in FileMaker Cloud, because it's in a virtual environment, because in this cloud environment, it's fairly easy to scale up for that fast-paced growth or for seasonal demands and things like that, because you can change the processing power and storage of your instance fairly quickly. Just in a matter of minutes, those can change and go up or down. With FileMaker Server, usually you're running on hardware, so if you want to scale up, normally you would have to purchase additional hardware in order to kind of keep up with the pace of growth. When it comes to maintenance, FileMaker Cloud, we've actually made it very, very easy to do the monitoring and OS updates and apply all of these here. For the most part, all those things happen completely automatically. You'll get a notification and you get a link so that you can install those or apply those updates and software maintenance. The FileMaker Server, since it's software that you install on the device of your choosing, the monitoring and the OS updates must be scheduled. Usually we'll have somebody from your IT team help you out, but you can also do these yourself. If you need to use our custom web publishing engine, which has an API for PHP and XML, FileMaker Server does support it, FileMaker Cloud does not. However, FileMaker Cloud does support our new data API, which is a REST API. For accessing data and sharing information over ODBC using our ESS technology, FileMaker Cloud does support, but does not support the additional ones that we added with the ESS adapter. So if you have any questions about what the differences are and get a little bit more detail on these, you can please go to our website. We've got a full comparison chart between these two, kind of give you much more information so you can make a much better informed decision. Let's quickly talk about the requirements. For FileMaker Server on the hardware side, at a minimum, you'll need a dual core CPU. However, we recommend that you use a 4-core CPU in both instances with 8 gigs of RAM and 80 gigs of storage. With at least any given time, we recommend you have at least 10 gigs available capacity. As far as the operating system, FileMaker Server runs on both a Mac and Windows. On Mac OS, we support these versions. On Windows, here are the versions that we have over here with the appropriate updates. For FileMaker Cloud, the minimum is a AWS EC2 instance of type T2 medium. That's AWS's nomenclature for their instances. That contains 2 CPUs and 4 gigs of RAM, and start off with 40 gigs of storage capacity. Very good. I did promise that we were going to answer your questions. I see many of you have already submitted many questions already. We'll take a few minutes to answer some questions, and then we'll go on and share some resources that you want to continue learning about the FileMaker platform. All right, let's see. Okay, we got some questions here about licensing. I've got a couple of questions here about licensing. For those questions, the best way is really to give us a call. I'll try to share that the number for you to give us to call us. But Ricardo, to answer your question, if you've got several users, 4 or 5 users, you can buy the appropriate licenses. We've got different types of licenses. One of these types is per user. It really doesn't matter how they're using or how they're connecting to your host. Your host could be on-premise, it can be in the cloud. It's the same license, and we can license from anything from 5 to hundreds if you want. Good. That's questions here. As far as asking is, has sensitive information on his file, how can you make sure that the cloud option is going to be secure as a server option? Well, remember we're talking about here about both options have encryption, and we can choose to have. There are several applications here of encryption. FileMaker can store your information, everything, what we call encryption at rest, and store everything completely encrypted. There's encryption over the wire, as data is being transmitted from FileMaker Server or FileMaker Cloud to your users. And then there's other security measures and encryption there. For as far as, for example, for the encryption at rest, for FileMaker Server, that is an option. FileMaker Cloud encrypts it at rest by default. You can't store it unencrypted in plain text. FileMaker Cloud also imposes SSL, so you must have an SSL certificate. That means that all the information that's going to FileMaker Cloud and from it will always be encrypted as well. On top of that, it enforces other security measures like requiring you to have a password, set up a password setting up so that it doesn't automatically log in when users connect and things like that. So out of the two, out of the box, FileMaker Cloud imposes, they both have the same security measures, but FileMaker Cloud imposes many more of those from the start. So it is quite secure. Let's see. There's some questions here about future releases. I can't answer those, unfortunately. Let's see. John is asking how to sign up for FileMaker Cloud. FileMaker Cloud is sold through AWS Marketplace. So you would start going to AWS. I recommend you start getting an AWS account, then go to AWS Marketplace and just simply search for FileMaker Cloud. Once you're there, you can choose the amount of licenses if you don't already have one, and it will walk you through the process of getting your instance up and running. If you already have an account and you go to the marketplace and start from there, it takes about 20 minutes from start to finish to have an instance up and running. I've done it in about 12 to 15 minutes from a mobile device out in the field. So it is pretty quick. So Dan is asking if there are differences between FileMaker Cloud and FileMaker Server. Yes, there's several differences. It mostly has to do with the environment they're running. As far as the software itself, they're very, kind of the goals and what they accomplish is very, very similar. It's kind of how they go about it. With FileMaker Cloud, you really don't have to purchase anything as far as hardware or install anything. We'll take care of most of that for you. You go through the process of starting that up, creating your account, setting that instance up and running. And it takes care of a lot of the administrative hassle there for you. If you go to our website, we do have a full comparison between the two, so you can kind of look what the differences are, major differences between the two, and maybe that will help you figure out which is the right choice for your particular application. Kathy's asking which version of the iPad is FileMaker Go compatible with. I believe we started, it changes, right, depending on the version. I believe you can start using anything from iPad Air 2. I use it also on an iPad mini. So we are very backwards compatible. It does not have to be on a brand new iPad. You can find it on the App Store. If you go to the App Store, you can search for FileMaker and it should pop up right away. FileMaker Go 17 is the latest version. And, you can download it, it's completely free. Yes, Dan is asking if FileMaker Server can use SSL. Yes, it absolutely can. As soon as you install it, it'll even ask you if you have your SSL certificate, and you can install it immediately, which I highly recommend. I think we got time for just one or two more. Let me see. Got some questions here about hardware. Cal, I think it would be best if you give us a call and maybe we can walk you through your particular environment. Maybe we can help you out there. Let's see. Dan is asking if you can run FileMaker Server on AWS. Yes, you can. FileMaker Server can be installed on any computer of your choosing, as long as it meets the requirements that we mentioned earlier. So, you know, Windows Server, Mac OS. It doesn't matter if the computer is physical or if it's virtual. So you can run it on any other cloud infrastructure that meets those requirements. So absolutely. see, Jacob's asked, I got actually a couple of questions here about running on other platforms. If you need to access custom apps from other platforms that I didn't mention here today, then most of the time what will be available to you is FileMaker Web Direct. Our web client runs on multiple different platforms and even on mobile devices, on mobile web browsers. So those are usually your best option. Very, very easy as well. Jack is asking which version of FileMaker Pro Advanced is necessary. All of our current licenses include FileMaker Pro Advanced. So as soon as you get it, if you buy, say, a user license, all of your users will have FileMaker Pro Advanced. I think I got one more question here. Got questions here about HIPAA. If it's, like I said, if you can create apps that are HIPAA compliant. And the answer is yes. We've actually got many customers and partners that create HIPAA compliant apps using the FileMaker platform. So HIPAA it's very complex. There's a lot of guidelines in there, but the short answer is yes. All right, I think I've got most questions here. I do not want to leave without sharing some resources with you. So if you, for those who had questions about licensing, again, the best option, just give us a call. Call us up. We've got representatives that are very familiar with different licensing offerings. We've got licenses for educational, for government, for nonprofits, and there's volume licensing. There's discounts available for multiple units. So please give us a call. The number would be 800-725-2747. Again, that number is 800-725-2747. Give us a call. We'll walk you through the process and we'll help you choose the right licensing option for your particular needs. So where do you go from here? Well, on our website, FileMaker.com/platform/get-started, we have an entire journey set up here for you. And it all starts with a demo. Well, guess what? You already saw one today. So your next step is to explore the possibilities. If you go to this website, you'll see customer stories. We've got different use cases by industry, different mobile custom apps that you can see the different use cases and just kind of see what's possible. What are other people using the platform and how they're building and how they're progressing in their digital transformation in their organization. Then you're going to want to assess your needs, right? Find the right path for you. And this is the point where you decide if you want to do this yourself or you want to hire a FileMaker Business Alliance partner to help you create that custom app. So we can help you there. We can help you find, decide on one or the other, and even help you find a partner if you want to go that route. Then if you want to try the platform, we've got free trials available from our website. Not only that, but we also have trial tutorials. We've got step-by-step trial tutorials to help you learn about the key features of the FileMaker platform and how to use them. Then we've got a lot of resources for you to help you take it to the next level and learn. We've got amazing, helpful resources there. There's events you can sign up to attend FileMaker events, live events like this one, even in-person events close to where you are. There's learning resources, there's guidance, there's, you can have access to the communities where you can find questions, find answers, ask questions, and connect with other FileMaker users all around the world. And speaking of the community, here's the link. This is the FileMaker Community. It's our portal on our website. It's at community.filemaker.com. It's completely free to sign up, and there's just a lot of great benefits to this. It's very, very easy to use, and I think it's the FileMaker Community to me is the most inviting development community I've seen out there. You can get tips from experts. You'll be able to collaborate with others, share your own experience as well. And we post a ton of resources out there, everything from technical briefs. You can download sample files. There's product news and updates, and also members only web seminars as well. And it's completely free. However, there is a paid version that will give you additional benefits. And one of those, one of my favorites, is if you subscribe to the FileMaker Developer subscription, which is about $99 a year, one of the best added benefits is you'll get a FileMaker Server developer license, which is great to get you started developing and playing around with FileMaker Server itself. Very good. Well, with that, this concludes our FileMaker webinar for today. You can watch a pre-recorded version of this and other webinars by going to www.filemaker.com/learning. Thank you so much for your time and have a great rest of the day.